What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to another live stream and a massive week here for crypto. And we're coming at you live from the Clear Crypto channel. I'm not in my, normal studio, so we're going to have to just make this work. Of course, it's beautiful behind me as well, and great day. And here's the thing. We're looking at this big picture. I keep thinking this. I keep preaching this because things might get rough here in the short term, right? Sit back, relax, and strap it down. Some would say. There's a very great sports announcer who had that line. Hawk Harrelson, by the way, shout out to him. Sit back, relax, and strap it down because we might be in for a pretty bumpy ride here in the short term. But we're playing the long game here. We've got the Fed meeting this weekend. We're going to jump into that. We're going to take a look at some prices. We're also going to take a look at the potential for the crypto market to actually reverse to the upside, which could be, of course, really, really nice if we see, some of these things come to fruition that some experts out there like Raoul Paul think. All right, so we're going to jump into it, and let me just take a little roll call here, see who's in chat. What's going on, everybody? Make sure you hit the like button. Consider subscribing to the channel. You're not going to want to miss the content coming this way. Daniel's in the chat. Everything is decided to get busy of right when the markets are setting up for the real dip. Yep. Sorry, brother. Fires are hell sometimes. I haven't been home in 2 days and slept in a server room last night. Man, well, passed out in the server room. This dip of the dippity dip. I have my dry powder ready. I'm trying to prioritize where it's going at the moment. Yeah, we're going to talk about that, Boca. I think that's a really good point. I made a video this morning. I'm focusing in on two particular cryptos right now that, I'll be looking to add the dip to. What's up, Zay? What's going on, man? Good morning. Good morning. How we doing, everybody? Rodney's in the house. Good morning. Good morning. Just in time for coffee. Yes, sir. Been waiting for Zach to do a live stream on the CC channel. We're here, man. We're here. We're here. What's good? What's happening, Huey? How we doing, man? Good morning. All right, let's dive in here, and we'll take a look at the overall crypto market by market cap. We have dialed back below that $1 trillion mark, down about 5%. Bitcoin is back under 21,000. You could see that we have been experiencing a dip here in the last 2 to 3 days. You could see that. And if we zoom out to the 1 month, we might be heading back down to 19, I think, ahead of the big meeting tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern. Today, we'll have a pretty clear idea of where we're going. In terms of the Fed, hiking rates, it looks like it's going to be the same, rate hike that we've seen in the past. What would be shocking if they do hike it up a full percentage. That's still in the cards, and people are discussing that as a potential outcome. But the more and more I'm reading, it looks like, that 0.75 is going to be the number again. Anything different than that would be kind of shocking, in my opinion, right now to the overall markets. I guess the other big question is, we got the CPI data. And interestingly enough, crypto dipped for a few hours, but then bounced right back. What happens tomorrow? We're already seeing what's happening today. How far will we dip? I'm not quite sure. I still think the verdict is still out. There are people that are very adamant that we're going to go below the 17.5. I just don't know. I don't have a strong feeling. I would be completely, just throwing darts if I said for sure we're going to 15K or for sure we're going to 10K. I don't know if that's the case. There are a few reasons for that. We saw some huge external events outside of macroeconomic factors that really deteriorated the crypto market in the short term, right? And, things like Three Arrows Capital, Luna, Voyager, right? All of these kind of big events that sparked massive sell-offs. Tesla selling off all their Bitcoin or 75% of it, right? How many of those events do we have left, right? I mean, because we know where the state of the economy is, right? Unless it gets drastically worse, which, again, verdict's still out, I think the bottom could still be baked in for Bitcoin and the overall crypto market. Let's see here. Crypto Shops in the house. What's up, man? Daniel's going to owe me some money. Like the stream and retweet the YouTube link, ladies and gents. Exactly. What's up, Hobbs? Hey, our government says we're doing fine, not in the recession. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I think they're paid to say that, right? But it's definitely not fine. But an interesting point. I think I think Justin Seals, actually from the Crypto Shop, put out a tweet recently, and I thought it was really interesting. When you look at it globally, when you look at inflation globally, yeah, it's bad in the United States, but it's not nearly as bad as other places, right? So you have to put things in perspective sometimes. I mean, sure. I mean, it doesn't mean like, okay, well, we're okay. We're the best of the worst, right? When it comes to inflation, you still want to obviously work hard to combat the problem of inflation. But when we look at it around the globe, the United States is not in some of the terrible situations that many other countries are in. But we shall see, kind of what happens here with today and tomorrow. Are you asking what other collapse catalysts can come because you wanted an answer? Or, yeah, I mean, Daniel, I mean, what do you think? Is there something else out there that could happen? I mean, sure, exchanges and things like that, but I just don't see anything on my radar that would indicate that something like that is looming. Roddy says here in Australia, people are struggling to pay their mortgages, and with interest rates going up, things are going to get bad. Yeah. Love this background and setup, Zach. What's up, Hobbs? I think you set this up for us, didn't you, bro? There are plenty else that can happen. Daniel, like what? I mean, list them off. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that. While Daniel drafts that up, because I know it will be very, very well written, and love your perspectives as always, Daniel. I want to talk about some potential good news. Former Goldman Sachs executive Raoul Pal says crypto markets on the verge of reversal based on one macro metric. So Raoul Pal is obviously internationally known at this point and very, very intelligent. So macro guru Raoul Pal says that a digital asset market could be gearing up for a major trend reversal to the upside if one main metric is any indication. In a new market update on Real Vision, the YouTube channel, Paul says crypto markets are mostly driven by the liquidity that comes from M2 money supply. Well, what is M2 money supply? Let's get into it. It roughly refers to the total amount of currency in circulation, plus near money or highly liquid non-cash assets that can be easily converted to cash. While many crypto investors focus on the Bitcoin halving, which our next one comes up in 2024, which is when the amount of BTC issued per block reward gets cut in half, Powell says M2 likely plays a bigger role on the crypto market than the halving itself. Crypto isn't driven by the business cycle, he says, but it's driven by global liquidity. So this is the global M2 deviation from the trend. So it's the rate of change of M2 and how far away it is from the trend. And it's about 1.5 standard deviations away from the trend, and it's turning higher right now. That time it ever happened, both at the top and the bottom leads to the turns in the crypto markets because liquidity drives crypto. Remember, this is not a cyclical asset, so it does not go back to where it was like oil and commodities. It's a network adoption model that goes up and to the right over time with these big volatile bands. A lot of people have the narrative that this is driven by the halving. Now, maybe the halving, which is the reduction in the supply every 4 years in Bitcoin, is a factor because it's correlated with liquidity. So what you're doing, you put more liquidity into the markets, it leads to more people able to allocate capital into a low supply environment, which is the halving. You don't need the halving as a necessary precursor. And again, these are the words of Raoul Pal talking on his YouTube channel there, Real Vision, about the potential of a trend reversal here in the crypto markets based on this macro metric. So, it's not all bad. And again, we say this all the time. Crypto was always built to be a major hedge against inflation. And we've never really put that to the test. And we might be getting ready to do so. We might be getting ready to put that theory really to the test. Is it truly a hedge like we think it is? And if it is, some would argue that the worse inflation gets, and let's just say the R word, if we get into a recession, that crypto could become and will become the store of value where people look to store their wealth. Gold has done that for so long. Bitcoin is often, talked about as digital gold. right? And crypto is looked at as a store value, especially the top cryptocurrencies. So that's another thing to consider. Now, here's another story. I thought this was interesting. Over on Reuters, Cryptoverse. What crisis? Venture capitalists bet big on crypto. It says even as the crypto sector shivers in the bleak winter, venture capitalists are pouring money into digital currency and blockchain startups at a pace that sets to outstrip last year's record. Keep this in mind. When people are freaking out and when most of the retail money is leaving, the big dogs, the venture capitalists, are building and they are investing. In the first half of the year, VCs bet $17.5 billion on such firms, according to data from PitchBook. That puts investment on course to top the record, $26.9 billion raised last year. A warmer and happier time for Bitcoin and company. The current market conditions, I don't think they faze investors, said Roderick van der Graaf, founder of Hong Kong investment firm Lemniscape, which focuses on crypto and blockchain. VC funds offer financing to young companies they believe have strong growth prospects. The data suggests a solid faith in the future of crypto and blockchain tech, despite a bruising 6 months for the industry here in 2022. So when in doubt, zoom out. Look at some of these other things happening. Look at the macroeconomic standpoint from Raoul Paul. Look at what venture capitalists are doing during these times of market volatility. Look beyond just this year. Look beyond just this month. Have a long-term vision when it comes to crypto investing. I feel like a broken record saying it all the time, but new people are coming into crypto all the time, especially by way of this channel, the Clear Cryptos channel. We really want to reach out a helping hand at 95%. And it's really, really easy to let your emotions grab a hold of you when markets are volatile like this. And crypto is always volatile, but right now we're experiencing even more volatility than normal. And that is because obviously the overall markets at large have been just battered over here in the past year or so. All right, so that's what we've got here. Let's hop back into chat and let's see what's going on here. Let's see here. Let's see. Jay Seals is in the house. Yeah, we were just talking about that tweet you put out there, Justin, kind of about the global inflation numbers. Let me see if I can actually find that actually. So Justin is a content creator here for Clear as well. Let's see. Definitely follow his tweets, guys. He's got some great insight on the markets. Let's see here. Here it is. This was a great tweet. We live in a box and rarely look outside of it. You think U.S. inflation is bad after reading these numbers? Yeah. And, I've looked at similar things before, but, you look at this and you say, well, in the yellow, by the way, these are G20 and then non-G20 in the blue. So, you sit here and think about this. Look at global inflation rates. Look at Sudan, 263%, Lebanon, 214%. This is insane, right? Even some of these, countries down here, look at Brazil, 11.7%, Greece, 12%, Ghana, 14%, Czech Republic, 16%, Nigeria, nearly 17%, Pakistan, 21%, Sri Lanka, 34%. These numbers are staggering, right? Staggering. And it's a very good point, right? It's a very good point because, sure, inflation is bad here in the United States, but you have to always think of macro here and look outside the U.S., especially when it comes to crypto, because it's global, right? It's global. So this is a global problem. It's not something we're just dealing with here in the U.S. It's a global issue. People won't have the money to invest if they're struggling to survive in the next 6 months. I hear you, Rodney, and I think you're talking more about like if a recession hits. So let me just say this. And by the way, if you're just popping in, make sure you hit the like button. Consider subscribing to this channel. You're definitely going to want to do so. Stay locked in here. A lot of great content coming. I hear you, but that struggle, historically speaking, during a recession, it only lasts about 11 months. And what comes after a recession, after a really tough period, is, historically speaking here, about a decade of growth. If you go back in time and look at all, I found this article one time kind of outlining all of the recessions that we've had and what happens. And historically speaking, they last about 11 months and then follows a decade of growth. And that's the overall economy. That's the overall markets. Crypto, of course, is still very, very new and very, very young on that adoption curve, right? We're just getting started. So I think once we get this behind us, I don't know when it'll last. Will it last by the end of this year or maybe sometime next year? My guess is sometime early next year when things really start to break to the upside, or at least we get some positive momentum. Then I think it allows for the biggest opportunity for cryptocurrency ever before. Because I think the last 2 years, it's opened people's eyes. And even if they haven't invested, it's now top of mind. It's now top of mind. It's something that's there, right? And even though they haven't invested yet, they're thinking about it. And this next event where crypto starts moving and all the markets start moving in the right direction, I think we're going to see the biggest adoption of cryptocurrency that we've ever seen. And, I think that's why Clear Cryptos, the channel we're streaming on right now, is perfectly situated to take advantage of that and help people along, because so many more people are going to come into this market. So many people have not been in crypto. They don't even have, investing experience at all. I'm 32 years old, right? A lot of the people younger than me, they're looking at crypto first. They're not looking at stocks. They're looking at crypto first. And that trend will continue, in my opinion. More and more young people, especially like that 25 to 30-year-old range, they're looking at crypto. They're not looking at stocks. They're looking at crypto. And on top of that, you're going to have institutional money coming into crypto over the next several years. You're going to have even folks in their 50s and 60s, once some type of regulatory clarity is set in place, they're going to be advised to diversify into crypto, right? So I think it's going to be the perfect setup for the biggest move the crypto industry has ever seen, in my opinion. Once we get out of this, again, in the short term, terrible time period. So, Rodney, I hear you, but again, I'm looking more macro than that, right? You're right. I mean, struggling to survive, what it does is it reduces people's spending. People just don't spend. They don't spend money. They save, they hang on to whatever they have, and they certainly aren't investing into volatile assets, right? But that won't last forever. That won't last forever. I think that the current financial issues, I think, will bring crypto further into the forefront, more acceptance, more use. I think that's a good point too, Huey. It's highlighted what's wrong with the current structure, right? Traditional systems. I agree. Boca says, what's up, Jay Seals? Well, the most harmful would be a major stablecoin or asset being found to be liquid. But if FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried says he's not lending anymore, liquidity expected to tank. Okay, talking about what else could go wrong with crypto. Daniel's always very critical, and I hats off to you. I might be overly optimistic sometimes, maybe to a fault, but hey, it's good. It balances things out because Daniel is not that way. He's very, very critical of everything and anything, and he always brings, good perspective. So I appreciate that. What's up, Jay Seals? Zay's in the house. What's up, Adam? Adam Shelton in the house. What's up, Adam? I believe the current financial situation will bring crypto to the forefront. Yep. Official pulsification. What's up, Nick? What's happening, man? I'm still expecting a swift and a sudden exodus from the NFT space once a threshold is reached. Most disagree with me there. Give me more there, Daniel. What threshold? What event would allow this to happen in your opinion? I hope we bout to put it to the test. Yeah. In terms of the hedge against inflation, it could be a hedge if everyone would get on board with the plan. Massive week for crypto. Indeed, Adam. Yeah, we're going to learn a lot this week. Markets are reacting, to the upcoming Fed meeting. The official meeting is tomorrow, but we pretty much will have a good idea of where we're heading here. I'm pretty sure the meeting minutes come out, sooner than the actual press report, or I'm sorry, press conference tomorrow. I don't see them being nice for NFT projects. I remember that being one of your predictions. I remember that being one of your predictions months ago. Definitely, yeah, GDP coming out soon. Yep. Yeah, GDP is also coming out this week. Good point, Nick. What is going to make crypto a store value is acceptance. All of our current currencies are only worth anything because we accept it as such. That's a great point, Huey. Yeah, it's a total shift in the way we think about money and finance, right? So it's not going to, snap your fingers and happen overnight. But I'll take you back to an adoption curve, and let me find this actually. And I always look back at this because you look at the internets versus crypto adoption. Let me see if I can find a good one here. This is back in 2021. Internet versus crypto adoption. Chart predicts 1 billion users by 2027. There you go. I mean, this is a good barometer here. So total internet users, total crypto users. This is exactly kind of the same timeline. Look at that. They're following very similar trends. But there's another really good one. Here we go. This was a great tweet. Oh, this was a whole thread. Okay. So here's a really important tweet. The crypto space is growing at 113% per year in terms of users. Even if it slows down, this was back in 2021, even if it slows down to the 63% growth rate of network adoption the internet saw at the same stage, it's going to lead to 4 billion users by 2030 or earlier. Again, we're playing the long game here, right? We got Austin in the house. I didn't even see it back there. What's up, man?
Hey,
what's going on? What are your thoughts here, man? What's on your mind?
Just looking at everything you're looking at. We got housing report housing came in. Hobbs shared the housing number with us. I can give it to you. Hold on. By the way, hi everybody. Let me see. Hold on. I'll give you the housing number. So housing number is down 8.1%. Estimated June new home sales down negative 8.1% to 590K. Consensus was 660. So 70,000 mark.
You want to share your screen?
Nah. Here. I'll just text it to you.
Yeah, or just throw it in that little private chat on.
Oh yeah. Hold on. Let me get this. It's something. It's Hobbs sent it over. Got to give Hobbs credit. Let's see.
Yeah, a lot of stuff happening with the GDP numbers. We've got the Fed report.
Here, I'll just drop it publicly. Here, that's it. So I just dropped it in the public public comments there.
Yep, that's good stuff. Let me see. I don't know if I can copy and paste that. Let me see if I can go find it at Hobbs's channel. I wonder if he tweeted it out. Let's see.
I don't think he did. Basically, it's showing. Here, sorry. Technical difficulties here.
No problem. Just throw it in. There we go. Got it.
You got it? Okay.
I think I did. Did you throw it in the private?
No, I can't get to the private.
It's on the right-hand side.
I know. It's just, hey, I'm having one of those days, man.
All right. Well, here, give us the numbers.
It's down negative 8.1%.
Okay. Housing.
So housing is missing. Basically, that's it. Housing is down. Down eight. It missed by negative 8.1. Yeah, there you go.
Gotcha.
So that's really what it was. So this kind of goes into what we were talking about the other day, that we've got GDP coming out Thursday. We got Fed coming out today / tomorrow. I've been looking and I can't find the exact date time today that the Fed. In fact, it's interesting. I went over and looked at like a bunch of like Yahoo Finance and all this. Nobody's talking about it. There's no like major story out there that said, hey, we're all waiting on the Fed, right? Nobody's talking about it. It's really odd, because and we do not have a meeting in August, which I think is good news. We got to get it with these monthly meetings from the Fed is just crushing us. So the next meeting from the Fed is September. So at least we get a little bit of a respite, if you will. But we got GDP coming out Thursday. Yeah, it's volatile. I mean, I fully expect, I don't know if you've gotten into this. I think Bitcoin's going to go below 20 and I think Ethereum's going to go below 1,000 by tomorrow. Even if we get a decent number from the Fed, if we get the number we expect, 75 basis, I still think we're going to go down because it's going to, the knee jerk reaction thing,
Yeah.
So,
I don't know if you heard this, like on your way in, we were talking about recessions, and like historically speaking, they last like 11 months. I think Luckside's in the house. What's up, Luckside? Glad to have you in here, man. He brings up a good point, and this is a question I've kind of grappled with a little bit too, and it's hard to tell because the government never likes to use the R word, right? But historically, they last about 11 months. Now, the good thing is what comes after recessions are usually about a decade of growth, 10 years of economic growth. And that it goes back to this other point too. Like recessions are actually needed. Like they're bad in the short term, but like there's a reason for them. Like it's kind of like the hard reset button, if you will. But I mean, Luckside brings up a good point. You say 11 months. What month are we in now? I mean,
technically we're in 0 month because we have not officially, air quotes.
Yeah.
We have not officially entered a recession. We don't have 3 quarters consecutively. We have 2, right?
I think that's the technical. I think is it 2 or 3?
It's 3.
Are you sure?
That's the number I've heard. Again, see, that's what's so funny. It's like you got all this kind of not disinformation. The number I've heard is 3, and I've heard it from people that I really respect. I think we're in one. I mean, let's just call it what it is. I think we're in one. But
all right, so this says economists typically consider 2 consecutive quarters of falling GDP a recession. In the United Kingdom, it's defined as a negative economic. Okay, so
that's for the UK.
Yeah.
You got to go up there and put for the United States. It's funny how everybody does it differently,
Yeah, I mean, I've heard both too. I mean, but are we in a recession? That's the big question.
I think we are. And I'm not in a okay, well, there you go. 2
by one definition. I mean,
by one. I've heard 3
in the U.S. too. White says a second consecutive quarter of negative GDP unlikely to be indicative. So here you go. Like,
but see, look, hold on. But that's the classic crap you see. White House says a second. It's like, no, if we all agree it's 2, then it is a recession. But nobody wants to admit to the R word. Nobody.
I know.
That's it.
Luckside brings up a really good point though, because then it's like it's so hard to gauge where we are in the process. Like, so if we're not technically in one, that means all of next year we're going to be in one. I don't know.
Amen, brother. Nobody will agree. And you ask 4 economists, 10 economists, the number will be different from everybody. The baseline. Where do you start? Do you start here? Do you start there? Here's what. For me, I'm not an economist. I don't have a PhD in, whatever, blah, blah, blah. How I look at it is simply this, we've been in these waters for a long time. And at the end of the day, if everything costs more money and all of this stuff, again, I'm way oversimplifying, right? But then we're inflation's here, obviously been here for a long time. I feel like we are. But I also believe, I feel like the governments can't, if they officially say the R word, then it gets even worse in people's minds,
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not faulting them for that. I'm just saying that's kind of the reality of the world we live in. And then it's a political juggernaut who, this versus them. They said this, they're at fault, and just
the blame game, it's
all that stuff. Right. But if you're watching, like, earnings are missing all over the place. Walmart missed. McDonald's. It's funny. McDonald's beat. Coke beat. Of course, retail's missing, but but it's everywhere, all over the Walmart deal about inflation. All that stuff.
Speaking to Justin's point, because this is something else we were kind of talking about, I think this is important too, like thinking about this more macro. Justin says, I agree, younger people will flock to crypto because the return on investment in crypto is much higher because the barrier to entry in crypto is much lower. Great point. I mean, I was making the point earlier there, like, I'm 32. Like, I feel like people a little bit younger than I am, people I've talked to, they're not even looking at the stock market.
No, they're not.
They're looking right at crypto. I mean, I know you have a son who's like deep into NFTs.
Yeah.
And he's like 15, 16,
14. Yeah.
14. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? I mean, how much of that will help crypto grow once we get out of this mess?
I think it's a double-edged sword. I mean, let's just call it what it is, right? You and I have all these dialogues, and And I mean, I've made more money from an investment standpoint in crypto this year than I have in the last 4 or 5 years aggregated on my traditional investments. Now, what I want to say is my traditional investments, because I'm 50, are geared differently than say yours, right? I mean, I know you invest traditionally as well. I know you have those, you're in stocks and mutual funds, et cetera. But our traditional investments we have a lot of bonds, we have a lot of mutual funds, we own Apple and stock and et cetera. But on that side of the fence, we're looking for an aggregated return of like 6 or 7%. And that, right. And you go and you sit down with any traditional finance person, a money manager or whatever, and you're talking, if you're talking about if you want a 9 or 10% return on investment in a traditional portfolio, they're like, oh, that's really, really, really aggressive. We got to put you in like international, Africa funds. I'm just nothing against Africa, right? But you get my point. Very high, quote, high risk. But I think crypto, I don't know. I mean, I know crypto, my gains in crypto have been better, but what I want to say here, and I think you would agree with this, is that crypto has more risk. At the end of the day, there's more risk, but I'm also going to walk that back. If you did nothing but invested in Bitcoin and Ethereum and just buy and hold, I think that your annualized returns versus traditional stocks, and I'm basically agreeing with your point, right, will outperform that. I think that, and that's my opinion. So if you want to be in crypto and not have any risk, then just buy Bitcoin and Ethereum and call it a day, and DCA in dollar cost, and like I know you're doing, I'm doing, et cetera, and you're good. That's my opinion. Not investing advice.
No, I mean, that's a great point. And I'm thinking about it, like what happens when the traditional 401k includes Bitcoin and Ethereum or an ETF and it's really easy to do that, right? I think that'll be a game changer as well, especially amongst the young people. But in addition to that, like even if you have a traditional 401k, a lot of people that want to better their future, they still have their individual investment funds. And I just think people my age and younger, especially, they're just going right toward crypto. It's like, I already have some money getting that 6-7% that you explained. Yep. Why not? Let's take a little bit more risk. I have the years to work and to build wealth and to, make money traditionally and also, through crypto.
I think to your original point, Zach, I think that if you look at like 5% of the world that can or is invested in, crypto or they can invest is in crypto. I think if I've heard that number in millennials, which is kind of really what we're talking about, right? Your generation and effectively younger even. I think I've heard numbers that slice of people, especially here in the States, and I would say it's probably similar in Europe and things like that. I've heard that number is what, 30-40% of that demographic is in crypto. And so, which shows you mass adoption and also shows you a massive bell curve, right? As representative of, say, that demographic, you're always, from here on out, you're always going to be in crypto, right? And so, that bell curve is going to get even bigger as you guys flow through that, that part. It's just part of your culture. It's not part of my DNA. Everybody I run around with, I've said this many times, the circle of friends that I run around with, they're all very, usually reasonably accomplished, have made money, et cetera, own businesses, lawyers, and CEOs. The vast majority of them are not in crypto because it's not what we grew up with.
Well, dude, you're segueing perfect, because I want to ask about your generation, and given your experience in the traditional finance world, what's it going to take to get more people in your age group and age demographic to get into crypto? Because you can make the argument, right, that your demographic might even be more important because, let's just face it, you guys have more money. You've worked longer. You've built up more wealth. You could probably move the needle quicker than, let's say, people who are in their early 20s who don't have a lot of wealth yet, right?
Yeah, because we're like, well, okay. So you could say, so number one, I think there's two parts to that question. So let's take the wealth that the 40 to say 60-year-olds control right now, right? the vast majority of that is in one way or the other institutionalized money, right? We have our money with the Fidelities, the Schwabs, whatever, right?
Right.
So you probably know what I'm about to say. The issue that you have there is that crypto is not mainstream. It is not regulated. It is not something that the Fidelities and the Schwabs, and I only use those as two barometers. And there's thousands or hundreds of those, right, that are additional big brokerages. The Fidelities and the Schwabs and everybody else, the institutions, desperately want to be in crypto. Because they want to make money off of crypto. They want to package up, different types of crypto based, investments. And they have not yet, for one simple reason: regulation. They haven't done it because there is no regulation and it's not mainstream yet. When regulation hits and it becomes mainstream, that is the key to allowing the institutions to come in, because now there's very clearly painted, lanes, right? Okay, you can do this, you can't do this, that kind of deal. That's it. And when that happens, I think then you will see hundreds of billions, if not trillions of dollars, literally within months of regulation flow into crypto. And because those investment advisors from Fidelity and Schwab and all those will come to the Austins and the the Austins and the Bobs and the Sarahs of the world and go, hey, now we got this great thing, and now we, blah, 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 blah. That's it.
Yeah. Huey says, I'm Austin's age, a little older. I think more involved than you know. That's great to know, Huey. And I think if they're not yet invested, they're at least, it's top of mind now, right? It's like, wait a minute, this crypto thing actually is something I should probably consider.
Well, like in my world, so Huey, it's a valid point. My view's a little slanted because all my friends know, and it's probably 10 or 15, 20 guys that I run with, that are all my age. And they all are getting interested in it because of me, because they know I'm actively in it. And like literally every time I have a get together, like Friday night, I had everybody over and we were playing cards and drinking beers and stuff like that. And it inadvertently always goes around, Austin, what do you think about crypto, Bitcoin? And I give them my opinion. But I don't think the majority of those guys would be in crypto or even interested if it wasn't for me, because they personally know me. To give you some perspective, out of 15 guys, 2, not including me, 2 are in crypto. That's it. And one guy, all he does is buys Bitcoin and Ethereum. He DCAs in. That's all he does. One guy does that, and he's a little bit more speculative. He likes to buy a little bit more of their, kind of riskier stuff, et cetera. But that's it. The rest of them have no freaking clue. It scares the hell out of them. They don't, what is Bitcoin, Austin, really? What is Ethereum really? Et cetera. Right.
Yep. So somebody had a question actually about Clear. Let me go back up there. And Dow, I got you, man. No need to come at us, guy. All right. It's okay. I got you. We're trying our best. On a different note, will there be any vesting for pre-sale buyers? Will they receive a certain percentage at the start and receive the remaining percentage later in the coming days, weeks, months? Great question. All of that will be laid out by the team when the time comes. So stay locked into the Twitter, stay locked into the news and information on this channel. And when we have it, we will talk about it, and everybody will know exactly how that.
Yeah. Information, I think, soonish about to come. That's what we'll say.
Yep. Really good question too. Sorry, I missed it there when we were kind of rambling about everything else. Okay, I got to head back to work. Daniel says, thanks. Yep. See you, Daniel. Appreciate you, man. Luxide's got one. Any recent word on the stablecoin regulation bill the government is trying to pass? They're definitely focusing there first. Luxide, I mean, you could definitely tell that kind of hits it home for them, and it hits their bottom line, I guess, if you will, more so than anything else.
Those are stablecoins. Would you agree, are what scares the hell out of the government? That's it.
For sure. And that and XRP to this point have been like the big ones, because XRP was like a direct hit to the traditional financial system and banking system.
Correct.
And stablecoins are too.
Yeah.
Stablecoins are as well. I mean, here's what I do think. With the fallout we've seen from algorithmic stablecoins, those are going to be highly regulated. And I think they should be.
They should be.
Because I look at those as more of an experiment. Like the Luna experiment didn't work, right?
Yeah.
Some of these other algorithmic stablecoins, they've been depegged, a little bit here and there, and then they've got, their peg back or whatever, but it's an experiment, and you can't risk millions and in some cases billions of dollars on an experiment. I don't think that, so, but I do think companies like Circle, which is the company backing USDC,
correct,
that stablecoin, that could be different. That could be actually, I think, regulated in a good way. And I mean, who knows? Does that become the next CBDC or the digital dollar? That's a whole nother conversation kind of embedded within there. But there's no question their focus is there, I think. I mean, Austin, would you think that that's at the forefront in terms of regulation right now?
Yeah, I mean, for everything you just said, right? I agree 1,000,000%. I think that there is so much fear around that from a governmental standpoint, but let's just call it what it is, right? I mean, if you're looking at governments, especially the United States government and the lobby firms and the sheer amount of billions of dollars that from a lobbying perspective, the financial sector, banks, et cetera, they don't like the current version of stable coins, and the fear and all, just again, we don't have to dissect that too much, right? But that's what, so yes, I think stable are first. And then, but what scares the hell out of me right now is the turf war, which is what I'm calling it, the turf war between the SEC, and I always get this wrong, the CFTC, the Commodities Future Trade. I got it right.
Yeah.
Commodities Future to CFTC.
Too many damn acronyms.
Yeah, too many acronyms. So, with what the SEC is doing with the Coinbase insider trading case, by going after that from an insider trading standpoint and trying to classify those 9 cryptos as securities, it's a turf war. It is a legal battle for who's going to regulate crypto. The SEC regulating crypto scares the hell out of me. It does. It scares me.
Because they want to just label everything a security.
Correct. Yeah.
They want control. They want to control it.
They want it. Well, but that exactly. It's a turf battle. And the problem here is that the SEC, I know very little about government organizations, but I would tell you, I feel like the SEC has more power than the CFTC, and I feel like that, they're just more visible. They're just more powerful. And I'm worried that that's going to happen. It is, I was talking to somebody yesterday. It is it's regulation by enforcement. And I'm not a fan of that. Right.
100%. And what's interesting with this whole Coinbase versus Swahi, the insider trader who, teamed up with his brother, and I think his friend, his friend. So
brother and friend, there's 3 of them. Yes.
3 total. I read this article. It was a really good article, but it was basically saying exactly what we just said and what you just said about the SEC and how they're ruling with an iron fist, said another way. But the interesting thing was the Department of Justice disagreed completely with how the SEC handled those 9 cryptocurrencies. Or I think there's even more of them now that have come out. It may even be in the 20s. But the Department of Justice disagreed completely. They said, no. This has to go through a process of severe vetting. Because here's the way I look at it, and see if I'm on the same page with you, or if you agree or disagree. To simply say AMP and Rally and whatever those other currencies were that they were trading illegally are securities simply because there were 3 bad actors doesn't seem logical to me.
It's not logical. It's regulation by enforcement.
Yeah. They're basically saying, oh, well, because they were manipulated by 3 bad people in crypto, they're now securities.
To me,
that doesn't make sense.
It's not. Okay. It's a valid point, but so the fact that it was insider trading, 3 people, 10 people, 1 person is in my opinion, Zach, irrelevant, right? It is this SEC grabbing this as an example, as trying to draw a line in the sand, trying to have a precedent, a legal precedent set by a court case, so that they can then go, look in this case, it was established that those are securities.
Insider trading happens all the time in the stock market, does it not?
I agree, but those are already securities. My point is they're labeling them as securities. That case, Zach, is not about insider trading. It is, but it isn't. It's about the SEC grabbing that and wrapping this insider trading thing around it. But it's really about they're trying to label. Look, there was 20 or so cryptos that that they supposedly did insider trading on, right?
Yeah.
Why did they just grab these 9 as, or whatever the number is, was 9, and then maybe more now, as securities? It's so that they can say later, so that they can set, if they can win that case, it sets a legal precedent that cryptos are now securities, and it bolsters the SEC's case down the road in the turf battle of, hey, we won that Coinbase thing. Now there's also Coinbase, right? There's a secondary thing here. I think the government in some way is kind of going after Coinbase a little bit, a little bit. And Glenn's in the house. So what's up, Glenn? So it's all of these things,
100%. And like, there's so much to unpack here, because now, like, you just got me thinking about something else. I've just read this recently. I'm sure you read the same article, because you and I cover XRP a lot, and we share, information all the time. And you've probably seen this. Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, said they're going to spend upwards to $100 million, $100 million in legal fees when this whole thing is done.
Yep.
Now, he made the point, this is where it's fascinating. Why is Ripple still where they are? They're actually willing to fight the fight. Does AMP have that money to fight that fight?
No.
Does Rally have that money to fight that fight? Do
No.
the other 7 cryptocurrencies? They don't have that money to fight the fight. What ends up happening is they bow out, the SEC wins, and there's a precedent set. So it's almost like they're going after some of these even smaller ones where they know they're not going to be able to defend themselves. Really. I mean,
they bit off more they could chew with Ripple, whether you agree or this. Yeah. I mean, Ripple is so well funded because of their global operations, right? Glenn's already giving me crap about my hat. He loves me to tell the story, right? I knew he was going to say something.
What'd you say? Your head's too big.
Yeah. So you could basically, Glenn, I knew you saw me smile. Yeah. Glenn's always giving me crap. I have a Clear Cryptos hat. It doesn't fit me because I have a big head. Okay. So, and by the way, I have to do this because I need a haircut. I'm getting a haircut tomorrow. So my hair is out of control. Zach, you have that problem? No, you don't.
Negative. Negative.
But here's what I give you. I can't grow a mustache and a goatee, man. It looks like a 12-year-old's mustache trying to come in. So I can't do that.
I can do this move and this move. I can't. It stopped going right here. I don't know what the heck.
I didn't even. Right, look, Glenn's laughing. He said, "Be very bottom." He said, "I didn't even mention Austin." No, you didn't have to. He's laughing. I know Glenn's just laughing his ass off. So anyway,
Chris says, "Does a company invest $100 million in something they think they will not win?" I doubt it. It's a great point, Chris. I mean,
well, here's the other thing. I want to say this. I think the other part of this is, it's not my idea. I'm not going to give credit because I don't want to out this particular individual, but I had a conversation yesterday. I think we all pretty much agree that the SEC battle with Ripple is going to go in Ripple's favor. So there's this other thing of, like, the SEC is already kind of done. So what is the SEC looking to? It's looking for its next big thing, its next big case.
Yep.
That kind of thing. There you go. Glenn just
spot on. Yeah.
Just voiced what I just said. So this Coinbase thing, look, it's multifaceted. Insider trading, 9 securities versus are they not? Oh, by the way, Coinbase, they get to kind of, chip at one of the biggest, gold standard exchanges there is, right?
That's a really good point. It's like, oh man, we missed this one. We're not going to get this feather in our cap with XRP. It's not looking good.
Yeah.
What's the next thing that we can do and set a precedent? You just wonder. I mean, there's 20,000 different cryptocurrencies. I mean, how are they going to do this? I mean, you're a security. You're not. You're a security. You're not. I mean, how? I mean, what does this process look like?
It's scary. I mean, we live in crypto every day. It scares the heck out of me to see what all this is going to, and by the way, it's going to be major he said, she said iterations and all. It's just a major up and down, media coverage, a lot of FUD, a lot of it's going to be absolutely insane.
Yeah. So. I think we're going to wrap this thing up here in just a few. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Make sure you hit the like button here. Austin, thanks for popping on, man. This made for a great convo. It's hard talking to yourself, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to engage with the audience, but this is great. We have like the back and forth, man.
Yeah, just like you do kind of breathe a deep. Okay, now I can have somebody to talk to.
Right. It's like sometimes it's like, man. So this is a question: when is the pre-sale for Clear Cryptos? So we don't have a date yet, Soto, but you will know it when it is set, and there will be a lot more details on that whole process. So
yeah, I think it's coming. And I think it's going to be early access for to get early on board early, things of that nature. So I think it's going to be and it's going to be a lot of fun. So
yep.
And I with a very clear idea of utilities and a lot of stuff will become really crystal clear about what clear is going is. Oh, look what I did there. I didn't even know I was going to do that. Nah. So
yep. Yeah, and Glenn says early access. This is something that was actually just discussed recently. There will be early access to Clear Cryptos, and that entire process will be laid out. And stay ready because it's going to be a lot of fun. And I wish.
Here's the thing I tell you. If Clear's doing it, it's going to be innovative. It's going to be different. It's not going to be what you're used to. I will tell you that. It will be innovative and different in a positive way. Okay. So I'm going to mute because my mother is coming to get the dogs. Everybody knows we have dogs. I have two little Australian Shepherds that are like pit bulls. So I got to mute because she's okay. Yeah.
No problem. Real quick, head over to the website, guys. Join the Discord. Stay locked in. Make sure you understand everything that's going on here with CC. And Glenn says software is already done as well. So there you go. That is related to the trading platform. And we're getting closer and closer by the day. But this is not a rush process, right? A lot goes into this. It's not something you just snap your fingers and say, here we go. It's ready to go. So be patient. And, this is a project I definitely think you should give a look to. And as we always say, only invest what you're willing to lose. But if you're looking for a new project, something innovative, something that's going to change DeFi, in our respective opinions, there's no bigger project right now than CC, than Clear Cryptos. So with that, I think, Austin, are you still muted? Is he still barking?
He's
okay.
Yeah, one Raiders barking his head off, but anyway, yeah, I can. It's fine if I don't mind him barking. Yeah, it's going to be massive. I think we just keep your eye out. Definitely subscribe to the channel this channel, and again, going forward, guys, you'll see live streams. Daily videos are forthcoming. There's a massive amount of videos that have already been made for the Clear Cryptos channel from myself and Zach and other people involved in crypto. They're in the editorial process and being edited and things of that nature. So you're going to start to see a lot more coming on this channel here. And yeah, it's funny, Zach, on my view of Clear Crypto, and I was like last night, my live stream yesterday doesn't show up on my view of the Clear Crypto YouTube channel. Does that make sense?
That's weird.
Yeah, I was sitting there refreshing it. In fact, I'm going to go right now and I'm going to see. No, it's still not there. Oh, there it is. Oh, okay. It wasn't there last night.
Yeah. I saw it this morning. I watched a little bit yesterday. So that's weird. Sometimes YouTube's just weird with the refresh stuff, but I think this is a great way to close it, man. I think Huey had a great point here. And I think this is just a great message to end it with. Crypto will weather all of this, come out stronger, trial by fire. And I think that's really it for a lot of crypto right now. There's some big questions looming, but there's no question that blockchain and crypto is here to stay. It's an innovative technology that's going to change everything we know and have come to know about finances and moving money. So that's it. That's what we got for you. Any parting ways, Austin? Raider says
dogs.
Raider says goodbye.
There he is.
All right, everybody. Have a great day, and much more to come on this channel. Make sure you're subscribed here and locked in for more info. We'll see you all in the next one.